This is a video by Richpin. Today we're working on a Ford 1.9 liter engine, and what we're doing today is we're changing out the thermostat. Now the first thing we want to do is get the vehicle up on ramps so we can put a container underneath the radiator, because we're going to pull the bottom hose off to drain the coolant. Now when you drain the coolant, make sure that the engine is cold. And when you pull this hose off, just be careful, the coolant's going to go everywhere. Well, I got most of it without a lot hitting the floor. The next thing we're going to do is remove the battery, give us a little more room. And after that, we can loosen this clamp right here on the duct to the throttle body, and we got a couple of clamps that hold the box on, and we got a couple of wires right here, and get that out of the way, and that will give us a little more room. Next we're going to take off this plastic PVC hose here and the PVC valve, get that out of the way. Next we're going to remove the spark plug wires from the spark plugs. And then the coil right here is mounted to this bracket by 4 6mm headed bolts. We want to remove those. Then we can take the coil and slide it over here where the battery was, out of the way. Next we want to remove this coil bracket. There's a bracket onto the EGR pipe right here. There's 2 7mm head bolts that go into the bracket. Take those out first. Then we have 3 of these 8mm head bolts, and you want to remove those, and then you can remove the coil bracket. Next we took the spring clamps on this top radiator hose, moved them back, and we're going to take the hose off of the outlet here and the radiator. Now the next thing we want to do is take this spring clamp here on this heater hose and then slide that back and loosen it up, wiggle it back and forth, make sure it's loose on the water outlet. And the water outlet is held on by 3 8mm headed bolts. You want to remove those, and now we can remove the outlet. And there it is. Okay, now we have to prep this surface down here. What I did is took a straight edge razor here and scraped all the silicone and gasket that was there. And what I like to do is take some light duty sandpaper. This is 220 grit, and go over the surface. Make sure that everything is nice and clean and smooth. And now I'm going to take some brake cleaner, and we'll spray that on there and clean that surface, and there won't be any residue left there. Now we can let that dry. Now if you look right here at the thermostat, you can see that it's wide open. This is one of these fail-safe thermostats, so when they go bad in the open position. You can see that. Now another thing you want to double check is the housing itself. Right in here is a little check ball. Make sure that it's loose, like it's supposed to. Listen to this new one right here. This one right here is a little gummed up, so we're not going to take any chances. We're going to replace the housing plus the thermostat. Okay, we got our new housing ready to go with the thermostat. Put some silicone on the housing, put the gasket on there, and I put some silicone sealant on the cylinder head also. So now we can go in with our housing. And we'll push it into the heater hose. There's one bolt. Now don't put too much silicone where that line goes into the cylinder head for the coolant, the passageway there. Okay, there we go. Now we need to tighten those bolts up. Now don't tighten those up too tight because they're very small bolts. Now when I tighten it up, I'm using a 1/4-inch ratchet, and I'm only grabbing about halfway up the ratchet because you don't want to break those bolts. There we go. Now those are tightened properly. Now next thing we need to do is slide this spring clamp back on the hose. Okay. We need our slip jaws for this. These spring clamps can be a pain. Now it's just a matter of putting everything back together, and that's it. You just replaced your thermostat on your Ford 1.9 liter engine.